So taking off of the riff from last night where I kind of said, maybe my writing is over and I should just quit and throw it all away and delete it. I still think that here and there. And that's one of the things that unfortunately a lot of self-conscious writers, and this is more than, I don't feel like I'm as good as everybody else or anything like that. This is just, you're not getting any good feedback. You're not getting or feeling like you're making any progress. And that's one of the big things that I've had a problem with over the past 9 years is, I'll write a book and I think it's good and I give it to people and they look at me like I'm just crazy. Part of it is, I've got neurodivergent tendencies, and so I tend to write kind of like a crazy person. And then also, I just bite off more than I can chew. Trying to make things too complex, too convoluted, try to throw everything in. It's one of the first videos I did, quit trying to throw in the kitchen sink everywhere. And it, so I had to take one book that I thought was, pretty decent. I'd actually rewritten twice and gave it to some beta people. And they said, here's the biggest problems with your book. And realized I had to essentially restart all over again. And that's part of the problem there, is that it's a process, and a process that's hard. And if you're not good at certain parts of the writing process, it's very likely you're not going to make, get off of me, bug, a good, like you hear the story all the time, oh, read more, it'll help. But not all the time. You can read 1,000 books, and if you just don't read it like normal people do, you're not going to get out of it what most normal people would do when they read. When I read something, it's completely different than when, your normal neuro person reads a story. It's just different. So I wouldn't say that I'm giving up, because I've continued to write, and that's one of the things I'm going to try to do, before bed, even just for 30 minutes to, an hour tonight, is continue muddling through this book. And part of the issue is, okay, I've rewritten it literally 3 times. This is the 4th time I'll have completely rewritten this book, right? And now, okay, I'm going to have to essentially do that process all over again. I'm going to have to rewrite it again. And how many bleepity bleepity times am I going to have to rewrite this bleepity bleepity book to actually get it in a state where people will read it and enjoy it? And that's just soul crushing at times. It's just so obnoxious, and it's not like anybody can really help you. I mean, you can read all the books and watch all the videos and go to all the conferences, but when you're writing, there's only you. Unless you literally have somebody hanging over your shoulder and and then it's not really writing. That's co-authoring, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever. Look that you're eating your food. Good job. Very picky stray cat, right? Like, what's up with that? I spoiled you. It's just frustrating. It's just really frustrating, because I thought I was in a better place after many years. I thought I knew what was going on. And that's just makes me so mad. And, in the beginning of this year, very depressed about how, oh, this is what I have to do to the book. So I started rewriting it. And actually, in some parts, it's way better than the previous versions, because of, the first rewrite was pointless. It was absolutely stupid. Second one wasn't much better, but at least it was better. Third one kind of got me back to almost pointless again. So knowing how to edit, rewrite, and make your book better is one of the most important skills if you're going to be a writer. And perseverance, honestly. Brandon Sanderson wrote like 17 books before he got published. I'm up to, 13 right now. I've written 13 books, but rewritten this book 4 times. This will be 4 times. I rewrote one book twice. And still, same problem. People just didn't like it, couldn't read it, couldn't get through it, didn't enjoy it, didn't make sense, too much. And you see that, especially like in like Hollywood movies, you see that all the time. Stuff is either way too safe or way too much, and instead of just writing a simple, good story that people can latch onto, you just try to do too much, or you play it too safe, and then it's like, well, I've seen this 100 times. When you're in the midst of it, follow your gut, follow your instinct, but sometimes your kind of childish giddiness at, ooh, I'm going to do this and it's going to be spectacular, you got to punch that kid in the face and just be like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to write a simple, easy to digest story. The best book I've written, according to my mom. Again, hardly anybody can actually get through any of these books, so hey, that's fun. The best book I've written was pretty much a just followed, Save the Cat Writes the Novel. I mean, that was really it. It's a good book. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't want to downplay, learning how to use structure in your book, because that can be very helpful to learn structure and not try to reinvent the wheel every time you write a book, short story or whatever. As I'm going along with this, especially this month, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going with any of this anymore. It's just frustrating, and I'm tired of it. And if like work stuff was easier, and because I think back to 2018, I just felt like things were on fire and I was making headway and things were going really well. And you waste years thinking, oh no, I'm doing better, and then you're just not, and you realize, okay, maybe I got to go back to square one, square -1, or something like that. And it's just frustrating. It's just annoying. And I don't know really where to go with it, except just keep trudging along, and hopefully things work out and I can make it work. But as I told my dearly departed girl bestie, that I'm going to keep writing, so I'm going to keep that promise to her. When I said it at her funeral, I damn right meant it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And again, the good thing, like I said yesterday, I've been reading some of my own book, just to see how they are. Okay, am I really that bad? And it's like, no, I'm not that bad, but these, I guess it's I have like 2 different flows for this series, one of which is a more kind of epic fantasy, kind of like a dark, gritty, epic-y type fantasy, and then the side books are more personalized to one person, a little bit more ridiculous fantasy, I guess, almost sci-fi fantasy type thing. The one I'm reading now, I'm just like, why would I put that in there? It's so crazy and strange, but it does kind of work. But the structure is very simple. It's again, save the cat, which works. There's nothing wrong with that. Save the cat. Hey, it works. It's very simple. It's very plain. Nothing wrong with it. Use it. Hero's journey. Use it. Linear stories. Use it. Every type of structure you can find out there has its good points and its bad points. So don't be afraid to use it. But these are the things, that when you're trying art, when you're trying to make things that are near and dear to you, your heart, your mind, your soul, how you want to express yourself, it's just damnably frustrating as all get out that it's just not working. And at least I didn't spend $300 million on a movie that tanked and everybody hated. So there's that, but you don't want to be that guy either. So you can do it. Keep at it. I will too.